Good evening, everybody. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Ivan, and this is From the Heart, a place of raw authenticity, just brute honesty in regards to my startup journey and just general life journey of things. Also dealing with anxiety and, all things mental health and the journey, I guess. Thank you for the support and thank you for the people that have already started watching some of my previous videos. I'm going to keep it short and sweet as always. That's my niche. I think that's my selling point. But today I want to talk about the value of rest and why, not feeling bad about being non-stop is of being non. Why not feeling bad about not being non-stop is good. I think there's this stigma or there's this stereotype that the most successful people, the most driven people are the ones who don't rest. They're working non-stop. They don't even work, right? Like a 9 to 5 or any source of income. They just plow it all in, and then suddenly, yeah, that's it. They've succeeded. But I'll be honest with you, I've been on this journey of growth and entrepreneurship and business for the last 8 years, and I'll tell you now, that is such a misguided and also somewhat privileged way of thinking. Now, I'm not from that kind of background where I can just afford to not work and just or do the bare minimum and just pour my own into a project and think it's going to succeed. I was humbled very quickly into knowing that in order for you to succeed, in order for you to do well, you need an income. Like you need something that can help supplement what you're doing. Because as much as we have that excitement, that drive, and we think if we keep pushing on our business and throw our heart and soul and work 24/25/8 on it, the reality is it's not going to come that way, right? And so it's going to take a lot of work and it's going to need a lot more than that, but that's okay. And the only way you're going to get through to that is by having a necessary rest time and respite. I used to feel so bad whenever I went, to an extent I'm still working on it, right? I still suffer a bit of anxiety from it, but if I go a day without doing any of my project work, I start to feel antsy, agitated, palms start itching, and really beating myself up about it. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay to not be non. It's okay to not be non-stop. To be still and to be calm about things and knowing that I can rest and go again the very next day. This whole culture we've built that the most successful people are the ones who don't rest or keep going. Don't stop because there's someone behind them, always chasing that position. That's all rubbish. That's just another way for you to honestly keep burning yourself out and adding to the statistic of startup failures. Well, the 95% of all startups failing. It's important to rest. If you crash and burn, you're no good to yourself or no one. And I tell you what, the more you keep pushing at things without taking time to breathe or rest or step back, you're going to fall out of love with it. You're going to become demotivated and you slowly burn away your passion because you start to miss the vision. The danger of working non-stop and no rest is that you start to become so tunnel visioned in this way. You kind of start to feel entitled, like, okay, if I'm working this hard, I better see something from it. So you're setting yourself up for a major downfall if things don't work out the way they do. And that's that non-stop element right within your head that tells you need to keep going without any respite. And that is very, very dangerous. And that's a clear way of burning out and failure. Now, I think for me, I'm stressing the importance of rest because it allows you to step back. It gives you clarity. It allows you to see the things you may have missed along the way of building or developing whatever it is you may be doing, your project or your passion, right? And it's important to always look back because by looking back, you can see ahead, right? And getting fresh eyes on something and even getting other people to take a look at things and to help support you and give you that necessary feedback on things that you might not see. Because again, you're only one person. And unfortunately, we're not robots. God built us in a way in which we need to stop and go again. But then it has so many benefits. And as you know, there's so many benefits to sleeping and resting and even just taking a few hours off and then coming back to the project at hand. So it pays to take a well-rested approach of things because through that you're able to have more clarity, and there's nothing more important in this journey than clarity. I mean, for me, I remember once where I was going non-stop to get a particular item completed for a potential customer. Must have worked like what, honestly, about 18 hours non-stop. I don't remember sleeping that period either, right? I just remember being hopped up on juice thinking, yeah, this is it. My emotions were in flux. I hadn't rested, hadn't showered. My breath smelled of hot death, like it was mad. And I thought to myself, yeah, I'm going to get this contract. I'm going to get this client. I didn't end up getting it. And I almost got to the point of being inconsolable because it's like, and plus my anxiety, right? I just felt like immediately a failure, instant failure. like, of not being able to get that client on board. And that was really like, normally I'm calm and composed, but because I haven't had a chance to rest, the serotonin in my brain from the lack of rest was going mad. Everything I felt was enhanced past 100. So I couldn't take things properly. I was emotionally just downbeaten, drained, and I just couldn't focus on anything else. And I realized that at that point, actually, I realized the danger of not resting, because immediately I wanted to throw it all away. I wanted to throw my project in a bin. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to go to another meeting. I just felt flat. I just, wow, if this person, I predicated and like just put everything within this one client, when in hindsight it didn't really matter. But that's what the lack of sleep did to me. It made me lose focus. It just made me lose track of what was important. I just started, focusing on the worst case and just keening on one thing and having that tunnel vision. And you know what? I'm glad in hindsight, I was able to see what was wrong and get the advice from people who told me what was wrong and be able to rectify it. Because if I didn't, I would have definitely made a rash decision. And I'm glad, again, in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't. And I had lots of opportunities to make very rash decisions within that, I would say, 7-hour window of not getting the client and going through it all. And then, it was actually my mom who told me to step back, relax, take a breather, look at what it is, help me see the bigger picture. When you're so trapped up in that moment, when you're so desperate, when you're so determined, and when you're just so, when you're so, just nothing else comes to mind, nothing matters. When you put your health and you put your well-being to the side, you're just asking for a disaster. Take time and rest. You deserve it. End of the day, no one's gonna love or do what you do harder than you. No one's gonna be more passionate about it. But that also means being compassionate with yourself, and compassion starts with you. I mean, you get so emotionally attached to what you're doing and what you love. You become so guarded and protected over it, and you feel like guilty if you. It's kind of like having a child, and then you feel guilty if you don't tend to it or give it enough time and support. And then when you become so consumed in it, you forget yourself and who you are and your needs and your wants and what's important to you. Don't lose sight of yourself on this journey. Don't lose sight of what's important to you. Don't lose sight of the things you loved and enjoyed doing before you even got onto this journey. Because it's those things you love that you can lean on when things get hard when you're doing your projects. And I'll tell you about another story. So, this is more of a learning lesson. So when I went for another client and I was very, very close to getting them, this time I had taken appropriate rest and steps. And I was able to see clearly and not just think tunnel vision. So when I saw one or two things going wrong while I was in the mode of working, I stopped, took a 20-minute break, went for a walk, called a few friends, got some advice, been consulted, and I managed to spend an hour or two before I had to submit the proposal, tweak a few things, and that tweak got me the client. And I wouldn't have done that if I didn't stop and take a break and breathe. So sometimes the greatest things happen at a slower pace. So, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to step back. And even, for me, I'm someone that's, I like to get things done instantly there and then. And I'm always getting told about this, and something I'm working on. Patience. Patience is really a virtue. Patience is that difference between getting something and understanding something. What I mean by that is, when you get something, you can look at a gift like a gift horse or racehorse. You can look at it and not know what to do with it. Patience allows you to take time, assess it, and then learn what to do with it. That's just a high-end view, right, of what I mean. But I think you catch my drift. You're doing well. You're doing everything you need to do. You're taking your time with what it is, because at the end of the day, the greatest things take time. If everyone else could rush out and do things quickly, the world will be even more saturated than it already is. What you're doing is in a pipeline, and it'll come in your time and in your lane. You just got to be ready to accept it. And but opportunities, when opportunity strikes, success is just when opportunity comes and it strikes, you got to be ready for it. Because at the end of the day, success is just opportunity time and plus demonstration. So be ready for it, be rested for it, and then get ready to go for it. All right, that's my short podcast done for the day from the heart, and that is from my heart. Just wanted to get that off my chest, and I really appreciate everyone's support. So please do continue to check these videos out, and if you like them, great. If you don't, and if you like them, share them. But if you don't, please share it off to somebody. Share this with somebody else who may resonate with it. My Instagram is IvesK. So please do check it out and give me a follow. I look forward to making more for you guys. All right, cool.